What's good, everybody? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again with another episode of the Celebrity Jump. Popular YouTuber Young Pharoah has been the brink of a few discussions here on my channel, on the celebrity channels at least. And I remember when he first came out, through Signetter, and like his first video he ever dropped on YouTube was like 100,000 views. And through Signetter's channel, I found a lot of people. Pharoah, who was also a mentor of Young Pharoah for one time at some point time, Brother Polite, Umar Johnson, people like that. But Young Pharoah, at one time before Kevin Samuels was blowing up really hardcore, like Young Pharoah was blowing up real hardcore. Like he was like really pushing hardcore for the right, for Trump. He was getting a lot of people supporting him. He had raised like $90,000, $100,000 in like a 48-hour span for some lawyer fees, things like that. You raise some money based on Sandra Bland's name. So his integrity definitely is a problem. Could you classify him as a scammer and as a liar? I believe that it's safe to call him that from what we've seen from him. But the bigger they are, the harder they fall. And Young Pharoah has seen a steep decline. He has big issues with his kids' mothers. There are now two of them. He was living in some sort of polygamous relationship. That went terrible. He moved to Houston. That went terrible. I don't know if he ended up getting on drugs or anything like that. But according to Young Pharoah, he is now signed up on OnlyFans. And so shout out to Monty Woodgrain. I saw a video about this from his channel. I've also seen another video from a lady called According to MJ. And according to both of these channels, Young Pharoah, if you look at some of the stuff he talks about on his YouTube channel, is quite delusional now. I don't know what happened to him, but he's not there anymore. And he blames the black community and many other people for his problems. Now, before he came to YouTube, he was already a convicted felon. And then he had tried to raise some money for a lawyer for that case that was already had already been taken care of, which is also a lie. And tigers never change stripes. That happened again. And now Young Pharoah is broke. And so what's happening with Young Pharoah is that he has trucks out because of things he said about the European Jewish community. He's been banned off many platforms. He was actually invited to some conservative meetings, stuff like that. But his hate speech against the Jewish community stopped that. He no longer has the money to support himself to do these other things, so now he's on OnlyFans. And I want to talk about this because so many black men follow this route. I would call it the Roy Jones disease. A guy can have all the talent and skill in the world, but without the fundamentals, eventually that guy's gonna fall down. That's what happened to Roy Jones. Once the athleticism went away, you saw that Roy Jones Jr. He did not have a jab. He was not a technical boxer. And that's what caused Roy Jones to get damn near killed in the later part of his career. Same thing with Young Pharoah. Guys like this who are really impressionable, they're really good with their mouth. And I'm talking about talking, bringing the crowd up, Umar Johnson. Guys like this talk a good game. They're personable. They know how to move the crowd, but they don't have any real skill set behind what they're saying. And they have no real ability to lead, no real ability to build. And what these kind of guys are, they're walking time bombs in the black community. It's no different than the jack-legged preacher over at Mount Calvary Baptist Church on Martin Luther King. He can preach his ass off on Sunday morning, but he's a poor administrator Monday through Saturday. The church don't grow. You can give him all the money you want. There was a pastor like that at Mount Calvary Baptist Church in Sacramento, California. I won't call you his name. He could preach his ass off. terrible administrator. And that church has been in the decline ever since he got it in 1989. No different than young Pharoah. Okay? But the black community is drawn to guys like this, guys who don't have a real strong work ethic. Their principles don't really stand on anything outside of selfishness and greed. And for the fact that, young Pharoah comes from a very dysfunctional environment. And you never get the help that he needs. And I'm not being a hater. I'm being objective. As a young man, he definitely has talent. But you know what? When with leadership, though, as a black man, there are just certain things that you got to understand that once you get the money, you are not invincible. And you see guys falling into that in sports. You see guys, like what's that guy that was the receiver over there on the Oakland Raiders? You guys know what I'm talking about. You see these guys, they get this money, they can't handle it. Okay? Can't handle it. Henry Ruggs, can't handle it. All right? A lot of these guys get this money, they get these girls, they know how to screw them, don't know how to take care of the women. They can't handle it. And what do? They crumble. And then that which they got, they've lost it. Why? Because you never really worked for it. This young Pharoah made almost $400,000 on YouTube. Young Pharoah was so talented, he never learned the YouTube business. Could have had 1 million subs by now. He didn't put in the work every day. Young Pharoah just so used to saying, like, whenever he go live, somebody's gonna give you some money. So he never worked on anything. Never understood the business. Never understood why he was doing it. Didn't care. All he felt was, I'm getting the money. I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. I'm supposed to live. Okay, the money, like he said, for raising the lawyer fees, that never happened. Never sued YouTube. That was the lie. Went and bought all kind of gold chains and all kind of stuff, wanting to be looking like a rapper. Then what? Then these girls are lying on you. Okay, I got it. Everybody's lying on you. You didn't do anything to put yourself in any situation that you're in right now. And guess what? A lot of people are like that in the black community because with black people, when leaders mess up or folks mess up, let them off the hook. Just like him and Brother Polite. Look at Brother Polite. Umar Johnson. They do something, everybody else's fault. Not his fault, everybody else's fault. Do something stupid, everybody else's fault. This is the reason why we don't have anything. And for a guy like young Pharoah, I'm gonna say this. It's gonna continue to get worse. He was recently arrested for death threats. Now you're on OnlyFans, and who knows what you might continue to do on OnlyFans. Would it Glamour Sims? I wouldn't be surprised. Because after all, what else can you do? You don't have any other skills. And that's why I want to tell young people. Stop depending on your charisma. Depend on your skills. Depend on your abilities. Talent will take you so far. Skills take you all the way. Personality gets you all the way in. And learning how to work with people keeps you in the game all the time. And infrastructure is the name of the game. But guys, what do you think? It's your boy, O'Shea Duke Jackson, back at it again. Another episode of The Celebrity Junk. I really appreciate you for all that you do. Subscribe with the bell. Check out the first clip at the top. And as you know, the buffoonery remains at an all-time high. I'm out.